No, you're just dreaming that, I'm sure.
Anyway, enjoy the series, and cheers. Now let's have some fun.
Previously on the first reel.
This is what projectionists do all day.
Got it. Get out.
Listen, can I get a zoom in of the baseball thing? No!
Yes, there it is. This is the baseball game that I had back then when I was a projectionist from the theater back then, and it still works. Yeah, see? Turn it on. It's got these little guys, these little LED guys, or LCD. Look at that. Oh, see, and then you're supposed to try to, like, I don't know, hit or do something. But anyway, turn it off. Thank you for sticking around. This is the next November movie. Last week I had a kind of a personal thing because of inspiration from another YouTuber who watched an old video of mine. That was the reference I had there with the video game. Yeah, and it still works. It's really cool. It's from Tiger, I guess, you know. And I know Mattel had their thing. I have the Mattel baseball also, but the football one was the big one with the Mattel, you know, with the red dots that you know, go up in triangles and whatnot. Really cheap, but addicting, like cell phones are now. This was probably from the 80s, late 70s, and then I know the Mattel one was definitely 70s. So anyway, welcome to another episode, and this is the second week of November, or maybe the third. I took a week off. Next week is Thanksgiving. Going to have a cool movie for that one. But this one, again, I have different titles that I kind of stir around in my head, and I never know which ones are the right ones. And sometimes I start to say, I'll do this one. Yes, for sure, this movie, that for sure. Then 3-4 days before it, I go, no, I'm going to change it and do a different one. And that's what happened this week. I had wanted to do, oh yeah, I got my tie. This is almost like when I had the Canyon Springs video. We had the vest over it, but this is going to be in reference to this movie. I'm going to kind of go quick here. It's late, and I've already had, some wine. I'm down to that right now. I still have more in the bottle, but I really don't. I shouldn't. But I probably will. No, I'll try not to. Anyway, boom. On to this week's movie. Steven Spielberg. Great director. Fantastic director. Although I personally have kind of lost interest in his latter stuff, except when he does like Jurassic Park, you know, and that kind of thing. But I don't know. When he gets serious, I'm not that into him. And if he's doing adventure and action and cool, like throwback stuff, best. He's one of the greatest. And he started off with noble beginnings, and the movie Night Gallery was one of them for TV back in the 70s, early 70s. And then he did, I think, he did Columbo, the first episode, I think, of the series of the first season. There was a pilot before that, which was not counted as the first episode. So the official first episode, Steven Spielberg, starring Jack Cassidy, David Cassidy's dad, and Shirley Jones, husband. But anyway, Spielberg had some TV credentials, and so he was obviously going to move into movies. And this was actually a TV movie that was made for ABC, I believe. That was, I think, what he was contracted with. And then later, it became such a hit on TV that they decided to make it into a movie to be released into theaters. But he had to add some footage because it was only TV long because of commercials and breaks, So then he had to add some extra footage to make it long enough to be released as an official movie in a theater. So there are two different versions of it. I'm not sure. I think this is really the real version as far as release in theaters, but it's only an hour and 15, the full version that I'm going to give you here. But there's other versions, I think, that are supposed to be longer, and I don't know if they're just more footage that I don't know about or what. But as far as I know, this is pretty much the full movie. And the movie is called Duel, starring Dennis Weaver, the wine talking. Dennis Weaver, who was part of the Columbo thing with McCloud. He did a show called McCloud as a detective. He was also in a great Orson Welles movie called A Touch of Evil, and he played this really meek, stuttery kind of chicken motel watchman, I guess, overnight watchman in this nowhere desert, and he does a really great job in that. And he has a reference, I guess, to a line in this. But this movie is the great, Jaws is this thing about this monster, unknown-looking monster attacking people. Well, this movie is going to be about a truck that is really attacking this one guy for some reason. Nobody knows. It's great when these movies don't explain it, because that's what adds to the terror, I think, is it's just like, why? What is going on? Why are you doing this? But there's no answer. It's just the way things are going, and you have to deal with it, okay? And so that's what this movie is like. It's Jaws-like, Spielberg's great, intro to the world. And so, I guess hat time. Here it is. I usually have it in this hand right here, or ready to go. So, I can go like this, get my hand up here, and go. Okay, something like that. But anyway, so I got my hat, and for this movie, I'm going to put on, my cat's over there looking at me strangely. I'm going to put on these retro sort of glasses, and so now, here we go. Let's watch Duel. It's got a really cool. I don't know if this is part of the footage that was added later, but it's got this great intro with a point of view pulling out of the garage. I kind of rewatched it a little, somewhat, just to rehash, because it had been so long since I'd seen it. Running the stop. Oh, here's the stop. Okay, does he stop fully? Kind of. California stop, as they call it. And so now we get all these interesting shots of going through traffic. Nice, again, old cars. Most of the reason I do this series is because I'm trying to do movies that were of my childhood. So anywhere from Zombie one. Richard Matheson wrote this, such a great writer. I mean, I think TV probably wouldn't be what it would be today without Richard Matheson. He really shaped the landscape, I think, of a lot of modern TV. And nice, I always like these driving shots. You get the point of view, you feel like you're on the road with them, you know. Dodger game on the radio. Lee Trevino, golf. So yeah, this was made by Universal Studios, and I'm sure probably a lot of the interior stuff is done at the lot, but most of it is on the road. There he is, Richard Matheson. Genius. Cat is burying its food. Her food.
Okay.
What's going on here? Oh, shortcut. There you go. Yeah, I beat your ass. Oh, look at that. He's going to try to make some distance. There you go. So he gets quite far ahead. Well, man, Duel, though. That is an intense movie. And there's so much, like I said, you see this scene in the bar, or in the cafe, I mean, at the bar. And it's like, okay, one of these guys is the guy. And maybe not. I mean, it could be none of those guys at the bar were him. Maybe he was somewhere else in the cafe, but it never gets explained. Even though there's a lot of weird suggestion, you find out, oh, that was wrong. And really, it's more about not necessarily who the person is, but just the survival, you know, just trying to stay alive in the situation. Doesn't even matter if it's a truck, if it's a person in a truck. At this point, it becomes man against this thing that is trying to kill man, M-A-N-N, David Mann. But, you know, there's always all these different theories about what it means and social things and whatnot and themes, but really it's just meant to be a fucking ride, you know, just like, I'm coming to get you, and you're going to have to kill me or I'm going to kill you. You know, it's just a weird, just this bam, you know. It's just so good, though, because you have this character who seems so meek and mild and, you know, businesslike, and by the end of it, he's completely disheveled, and, you know, and it's just this fight to the death, you know. Anyway, watch the movie. Next week is really, this is the one I've been really looking forward to, but I had to, you know, sit through other weeks of not knowing what to do. But this next week is another great car movie, and it's good for Thanksgiving because it's a long movie. It's about like 2.5, 3 hours, depending on, you know, commercials or whatnot. But even though it's that long, it's really good. Well, I'm going to go over it more next week. Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a safe Thanksgiving. Wear masks, except when you eat, of course. Don't eat with your mask on. That's really sloppy. But, you know, if you're out and about or anywhere, wear your masks. Be safe. Thanksgiving, have, you know, only the close people with you. But, you know, nobody's going to listen to me anyway, so what the fuck. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving for next week. Great movie next week. And thanks for watching. Link for the Duel movie in the description. And we'll catch you on the rebound.
Look, guy, you got me out.